Hello and welcome to the Collapse Experiment. Are you tired of lame videos with the same backgrounds where people just sit there talking? So am I! I am out for a walk to check on the chicken coop, put some stuff in the compost, and to tell you about my new adventure on Kindle Vella. Alright, so got a couple eggs. Yay! The story I have on Kindle Vella, it's kind of an offshoot of the Kindle app. It's more like a serialized story option that Amazon is tinkering around with. It's very similar to Wattpad. I'm trying to think of, there's the Chinese one that tried to buy one of my stories, and I promptly said no because, of course, the one book they were wanting to buy had to deal with the Chinese invading America. Gee, I wonder why they would want to squash that book. Anyways, the story I have on Kindle Vella is called Crossroads. It features a chef named Tony and a deal that he makes in order to get the things out of life that he's always wanted. Yes, it is based on the life of Anthony Bourdain in a fictionalized format, although a lot of the events are real. It's really based on previous books written by other people, like the serialized life of Musashi, which is one of my favorite books, among other several literary characters who have also been written in that format. And in my opinion, what better way to honor someone like that when you respect them than to kind of give them another sense of immortality, even if it's in a fictional sense. So, if you're interested in checking it out, look it up through the Kindle app. Just type in Crossroads Vella, V-E-L-L-A. Might help with it coming up. First episode is available, and with Kindle Vella, the first 3 episodes are available for free for any story. So, not just mine, but others that are out there. So if you're looking for something new, some new reading material, you can technically check out a story for free, see if it's anything you're interested in continuing, and then decide whether or not you want to pay. So that's one of the upsides of this new app, and hopefully if mine is any good, people will continue to see what further adventures happen afterwards. So this is all new to me. I'm pretty excited about it. I've had this story idea sitting on the shelf for a while. It's been something I've been tinkering around with. Already had about a dozen scenes already written, along with the 2 first episodes, but with a serialized format like this, it's going to be a longer format than something I would normally publish. Although I have done stuff like this in the past. For those of you who have possibly read my previous book, Motherfucker, My Year as a Degenerate Cook, that was originally written on the collapseexperiment.com in a serialized format where I tell stories about that time in my life. Golden, that time period where I actually worked in the movie / media industry as a writer. That was also in a serialized format, then later published as a book. So this is nothing new, and as of today, things are going quite well because I ended up writing 2 episodes this morning, and I'm hoping to stay on a schedule where I can get ahead, leaving more time to edit, tinker, possibly rewrite if needed, episodes as they are done, and schedule them, because you can schedule a new post 4 days in advance. So that is something I'm hoping to take advantage of, where I can just schedule it, forget about it, it gets posted, and go about the rest of my week. I took a wrong turn here, trying to find the trail back into the pine woods. So, that's about it. That is my latest new adventure that is going on with me. And hopefully you guys will come and check it out and enjoy the story like I do. And hopefully I'm telling it well. If there's one thing I can pride myself in, it's definitely knowing a lot about the lives of other people who definitely have a more interesting story to tell than I do. It's interesting to think about somebody else who spent the majority of their time for 20 years traveling to other places, and meanwhile I desired to do the complete opposite. I guess there's something to say about living vicariously through others, which I think a lot of people did with Bourdain, and having done that myself, the other thing to keep in mind, and this is something that I've thought about a lot recently, is that his death really could not have been timed any better for him. And what do I mean by that? You look at our situation today, COVID, World War III, sanctions, tensions are high. His show would have been over. If he had lived another year or two, if he had not retired, which from my understanding he kept talking about doing but couldn't, he would have been forced into it. And could you imagine trying to film a show like No Reservations or Parts Unknown during COVID, of all things? So what we end up having is this time capsule, this 20-year time period of what the world was like all over the place from 2000 until 2018, 1999 to 2018. And that show can never be replicated, ever, with the way things are going. So his show and what he did during his life, there could not have been a better time for it. And looking back, I don't know if people realize that or not. It's when I was growing up, I used to love collecting old National Geographics before that magazine went to shit. It was my way of getting out and seeing the world, regardless of whether it was printed during the 70s, the 80s, you know, time long gone, but at least that time period for that place was documented, and you could learn what things were like at that place at that time. And now, with no reservations and parts unknown, we now have a video version of that. And I'm glad, I'm happy that my kids and future generations can look back and see what the early 21st century was like through the lens of a chef and a travel enthusiast like Bourdain was. So that's enough on that, on my story. Not even really my story, but the story I'm attempting to tell. And I'll leave it at that. Back to the chickens. They're getting pissy. Time for me to go. Keep on typing.